So, the car I've found is a 1988. G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been so long since the last video. It's been a good 4 weeks, if not more. But I've had a lot going on and I have some exciting news finally for the channel. So, the red Hilux has sold. That's moved on to the new owners and it is gone out of my shed. I've got a big empty shed space now and I have found the next project vehicle for Shed to Beach. I have been looking for one of these for quite some time and I've finally managed to find one that ticks all the boxes, has all the things I was looking for. So the car I've found is a 1988 Toyota.
If you could ask
For the Toyota that's country tough and city smart through stop and go, you'd be asking for Toyota 4runner. With four-wheel drive and room for 5, 4runner commutes, carries and conquers all roads. 4runner, #1 in customer satisfaction for 2 years running. So who's looking out for #1?
Toyota.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
So it's the last year of the first generation 4runners. It's an IFS car, independent front suspension, which is what I wanted. I don't want the solid axle on this one. Also has a factory automatic transmission, which I was chasing. It has factory cruise control, which is a big one. Factory air conditioning. It does not have the sunroof. It's apparently an SR5, but it doesn't have the sunroof and it doesn't have the inclinometer. So I'm not 100% sure whether it's a genuine SR5 or not, but either way, I didn't want the sunroof and I'm not really fussed if it has the inclinometer or not, to be honest. So couldn't find one in good condition at a reasonable price in WA. This one I have found was actually in Noosa, Queensland. Now the bloke I bought it off has kindly transported it down to Brisbane for me and dropped it off at a mechanical workshop in Brisbane where some work is getting done right now on the brakes. It had no brakes at the time I bought it, so apparently, according to the mechanic that's got it now, it's due to a faulty slave cylinder. So that is getting a new slave cylinder and a brake flush, and then I should have brakes and I'll be able to drive it from Brisbane to my father's property in Millmerran, Queensland. So it's about a 205 kilometre drive, and that'll be the first test of this vehicle. Obviously, I'm buying it sight unseen. So the bloke I bought it off has been really good. He sent me tons of photos, tons of videos of it running and driving and all that sort of stuff, and we've had lengthy discussions back and forth about the vehicle. So I feel confident that I know what I'm getting. So the plan, the mission. I'm flying from Perth to Melbourne. Then in Melbourne I'll be getting on another plane and flying from Melbourne to Brisbane. And I should arrive just after 8 o'clock in the morning Brisbane time, and from there I will walk to where the car is located at this mechanic's workshop, which is right next to Brisbane Airport, and I will be there for when they open on Wednesday. Now, they may or may not have finished the brakes when I get there. Probably not, to be honest, so I may have to spend a night in Brisbane waiting for those brakes to get finished. As soon as that's done, the next stage of the mission is to drive the car from Brisbane to Millmerran, so that 205 kilometres to my father's property. I'll then be there visiting with my dad for a couple of days, and while I'm there as well, I'll do a bit more to the car. I'll probably do an oil change. I'll check all the other fluids, and if they look like they need changing, I will. If I can get away without doing it, I won't change them, just because when I eventually get it back here, I'm going to do a full head-to-toe service on the thing. The drive from Millmerran to my home here in WA is just over 4,000 kilometres. It's from one side of Australia to the other. It is a big drive. If I did 1,000 kilometres a day, it'd take me 4 days, and I don't think I'm going to get 1,000 kilometres a day. I'll probably be more like 800 k's a day, so I'm shooting for 5 days, but something could go wrong with this car. It's an untested car. I don't know if it's going to make it at all, if it's going to make it, you know, a few days in and then break down on me and I'm going to have issues. So we'll see. That's sort of part of the excitement, part of the fun of going on a big road trip to go get this car and bring it back. Once I get it back here, the plan is, obviously it's going to need to go over the pits to get registered in WA. So that's the vehicle inspections for registration. So I'll be going through it top to bottom. My plan is to completely rebuild the front end. Basically, I've got most of the parts already here and some still coming, but I've got brand new tie rod ends, inner and outer, brand new pitman arm, the new slave cylinder. Obviously I've got all new bushes. The only thing I'm not going to replace is probably the actual control arms themselves, upper and lower control arm. I've got to pull them off to replace the bushes on it anyway. I'll blast them and paint them or powder coat them, but I'm going to give the whole front end a refresh. What else have I got? In Queensland at my dad's house, I have waiting for me a whole heap of fluids, so oil, diff oil, transmission oil, all that sort of stuff. So if I need to replace it, I can, and if not, I'll have it in the car with me on the drive over. So if some stage over those 4,000 kilometres I need to top up fluids or do a change, I've got the stuff there. I've also bought a King Chrome automotive toolkit, which will be over there waiting for me. So I'll throw that in the car, so I'll have some tools to work on the car if it breaks down on the way back. What else? What else have I got? I've got an upgraded master cylinder. This master cylinder is out of the second generation 4runners with the 3-litre V6. It's a bigger diameter master cylinder, so this is a 1-inch, whereas the one that's fitted to the car currently I think is 7/8 or 13/16 or something like that. This is slightly different. You have to, the one on the car, this inlet or this pipe here goes on top, so there's a little bit of bending and tweaking of the brake line to get it in there, and this plug is different, so I have to remove the plug from the old one and put it on this one so they all connect and join up. But apart from that, it goes straight on and you get a larger 1-inch master cylinder, so better braking capacity, which is always good. So a few things that I've ordered, and I'll just run through them now. Obviously rocking a Shed Life t-shirt. I bought a couple of Shed Life t-shirts and a jumper. I bought a hoodie as well, and the reason being is I needed some new t-shirts, and I subscribe to these guys, I follow these guys, and love their videos, watch their videos. So I thought, why not? I'm supporting a YouTuber that I subscribe to and I enjoy watching, and I get a couple of cool new t-shirts and a hoodie. This one's my favourite, the cut your way in, weld your way out. Love that. And they know how to do it. Shed Life know how to do it. Sticker in the pack. Always good when you get a free sticker when you buy something. I bought a lot of these parts I've bought off online auto parts, and they sent me a, what did I get? What do you call them? Oh, the air freshener. Well, you know, the air freshener that people hang over off their rear view mirror or throw them under the front seat. It went straight in the bin. I haven't found an air freshener yet that smells any good for a start. They all stink. And I just don't like having things hanging off my rear view mirror or floating around in the car, so I'd never use it. So that went straight in the bin. Online auto parts, chances of you seeing this or listening is next to nothing, but just in case, stickers, that's what we want. Throw stickers in there. I'll gladly put an online auto parts sticker on the fridge, on the hoist when I get it. Yeah, stickers is what we want. Shed Life are on the money. So yeah, a couple of new shirts and a hoodie from Shed Life. Oh, and the shirts and hoodies get you tickets into their giveaway as well, which at the moment is a dual cab Land Cruiser, a 79 series dual cab, which is done up pretty well. So, hey, fingers crossed. Could be my new tow vehicle. But what else have I done? I've bought some belts. So this is the this is the alternator belt, so I'll be taking that up with me in my bag because I couldn't get the alternator belt on my online order that I placed. But I did get the power steering belt and the air conditioning belt, so they're both over there waiting for me. So I'll have all 3 belts brand new in the car in case one snaps on the drive over. What else have I picked up? So here are, and again these were ordered online through Online Auto Parts, which is an Australian owned company, so very good. I love supporting Australian owned, and even better if it's Australian owned and Australian made. So I've got a pair of complete inner and outer tie rods. Not sure whether I'm going to try and take these up with me. I'm going to chew into my sort of luggage weight capacity pretty quick if I'm taking tie rods and things like that, but I have those there anyway, so I might, hopefully they're good enough to get me home, and then I'll just replace them when I get back, but we'll see. We've got to make sure the vehicle's safe enough for the drive over. That was the box for the slave cylinder. Oh yes, another part off Online Auto Parts. This is the brake proportioning valve. I don't think it needs one, but I'm replacing the master cylinder. I may even replace the booster too. I think you can upgrade the booster to an 80 series Land Cruiser booster. I'll have to look into it some more. But if I can, I'll probably chase down one of those. Oh, yeah, here we go again. So this Online Auto Parts air freshener in the bin. I don't want an air freshener. We want stickers. All right. And I've got a bag full of fishing gear. I'm getting excited about getting this car and being able to go camping and fishing in it, so I had to go buy some more fishing lures. The car has a jack. I've been told by the previous owner, he's had a look. The jack is still in it, but there's no handle. So I have bought another, through my local Toyota dealership, another genuine Toyota jack and spare wheel crank handle. So it comes in 3 pieces. And if you watch the red 1984 Hilux videos, you'll see that I had to order one of these for that Hilux. And these are the genuine part for those cars. They probably carry through. I mean, this is probably the same part for a brand new 79 series Cruiser or a brand new Hilux. You know, I can't imagine this part changing all that much over the years, but it's just cool that they are the genuine part for that vehicle. So I have picked up some tools in preparation as well. I've got a tie rod separator here, the fork type, but I also have bought the Pitman arm puller, and I believe this one is the ball joint separator. So I've just bought these from my local Repco individually, but I'm probably going to try and get a front end service kit that has all of the different size pullers and separators and that in the kit. If I can't find one of those, I'm hoping King Chrome make one, but if they don't, and if you're wondering why King Chrome are an Australian owned company. I don't believe their tools are manufactured in Australia. I think they might be manufactured in is it China or is it Taiwan? I can't remember, but they're an Australian owned company, and as far as I know, there's no other Australian owned companies making like automotive mechanical tools that are manufacturing those tools in Australia. So like I said, first preference is Australian owned, Australian made. Second preference, Australian owned and manufactured elsewhere. But if we can keep the manufacturing here in Australia, all the better. Which is another reason why all the fluids I bought for the car, which like I said aren't here, they're at the other end over in Queensland, are all Penrite. I've gone with Penrite because Penrite are Australian owned and made in Australia. Their oils and greases and that are made in Australia. So Penrite I use when I can. They're my first choice for oils, fluids, greases and all that sort of stuff. What else have I bought? Oh, also I didn't realise at the time, but Light Force is manufactured in Australia, in South Australia I believe. So I will be switching back from steadies. I have steadies. I do own a good set of steady Type X Pros. But I will be switching back to Light Force now that I have learnt that they are Australian owned and Australian manufactured. So Light Force will be my lights moving forward. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'd love to be sponsored by these Aussie made products, but not sponsored by anyone at the moment. But I will be using Light Force lights from now on, and I will be buying this car. I'll be putting up pictures of this car, by the way, but the car has a bull bar on it. It's very poorly fitted by the looks. There's something wrong with it. I need to look into that and see what's going on there and refit it properly. And at first I thought it was just some random aftermarket bull bar, but I've actually seen quite a few Surfs and 4Runners now with this exact bull bar on it. So I don't know whether it was a factory option back in the day or whether it is an aftermarket one, but it was a popular one back then to put on the 4Runners and Surfs, because I'm seeing quite a few of them now that I've bought this one. But it's not an ARB bar, and that's what I want. I'll be going for an ARB Deluxe winch bar when I get this vehicle. ARB, again, Australian owned, along with Old Man Emu suspension. So ARB actually bought out Old Man Emu suspension back in the late 80s, I think, 88 maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But ARB and Old Man Emu, two more, well, they're the one company now basically, but Australian owned. Most, or a lot of ARB products are manufactured in Australia, but some aren't. So if that's a big issue for you, or it's a purchasing sort of issue for you, like it is for me, I base my decisions around where things are manufactured, then that's something to keep in mind when you're buying ARB products. Some things are manufactured in Australia, some things aren't. Definitely keen to get an ARB bar on the front of that though. The rear bar and the rock sliders I'll probably manufacture myself. That'll be a fun project, but yeah, first mission is just getting the car back here. Let me know in the comments if you think it's going to make it. It's 4YE, so it's the fuel injected 4Y, 2.2 litre petrol. So it's not the turbo diesel, it's not a diesel, and like I said, it's the automatic. So let me know in the comments below what you're putting your money on. I make it all the way, no hiccups. I make it all the way, but I have a few issues along the way that I need to sort out on the road, or I don't even make it out of Queensland. Let me know what you think's going to happen. Don't jinx me though. I'm hoping, oh man, I hope I can get this car back. I've got to be back in time by the 26th. So I've got 10 days from now, 9 days from now, and I need to be over there for a couple of days to see my dad, and the mechanic's probably going to need the car for another day after I get there, possibly even 2. Geez, I hope not. But so it's going to be yeah, I'm not going to have all the time in the world to dawdle back, but I'm going to have to sort of push pretty hard. The plan is to just drive as far as I can till I get tired and literally just pull over, sleep in the back of the car for a couple of hours, or until I wake up, you know. So I'm not going to force myself to drive tired. It's going to drive till I feel like I'm too tired to be driving, go to sleep, and when I wake up, I'll start driving again. Simple as that. And I'm going to take, I'll have my phone, I'll be recording on my phone. I'll try and do some time lapse of the driving and that. And if I stop places, if the car's going well and I'm going past places of interest, like I'll pull over, I'll stop and I'll have a look, and I'll get some footage for you guys and just show you what's going on. If I break down, I'll get a little bit of footage, obviously, when you know, just letting you know what's going on. But I'm not going to be setting up tripods and recording myself making repairs to the vehicle on the side of the road. I'm going to need to, if it does break down, I'm going to need to hustle and just get going. So it'll be pretty raw footage. You know, there's not going to be any spectacular drone shots or anything like that. But anyway, I'm excited to get this car back, and fingers crossed she makes it all the way in one piece, doesn't give me too many dramas, and then we can start hooking in with some modifications and some upgrades and repairs and things like that. So some great videos coming on this bus. This is going to be a long-term car. I'm planning on keeping this car forever and doing it right up, handing it down to the kids at some stage. This car is going to take us to Esperance, back to my old stomping grounds, do some beach fishing, and some beach fishing around Perth, some inland lake fishing down south, and things like that. So plenty of good videos to come. But stay tuned for the next one. It'll probably be maybe a week and a half, possibly 2 weeks, because I'll have to obviously get the car back, then edit all the footage, things like that. So possibly 2 weeks till the next video comes out, but make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know when it drops, because I think it's going to be a cracker. Hopefully you're as keen as I am to see whether she makes it all the way. 4,000 kilometers. Yeah.